What is it like to converse with a god? So far, I've only heard the voice of Azura and Boethia in my head, but never seen them. Now I get to see a god who actually asks to see me. Vivec. All my life, I've pondered what he's like. For the first 15 years of my life, I lived so close to a god who lived among us, but never seen him. I've seen drawings, paintings, and the statues of him out front of the High Fane temple in the city, but never him. He's been alive for around 4,000 years, well, so has Deviath Fur, but he doesn't have the powers of a god, nor has he been integral in shaping the Dunmer culture for 4 millennia. I have heard that the gods can read your mind and your heart. Can Vivec do this as well? For that matter, why do the Tribunal not have their own planes of oblivion like the Daedra do? Or are they stuck here like the Aedra are? I have pondered these questions and many more since I can remember. Well, I guess if the Tribunal came about because of the heart of Lorcan, and the heart is an important part of Mundus, then they very well might be stuck here like the Aedra are. The Aedra are part of Mundus, and so I assume so are the Tribunal. But oddly, they don't have the limitations of the Aedra. They are in the flesh all the time, I think, and they can get into combat with the Daedric princes and defeat them. The Aedra can't do this, or rarely if ever seem to do things like this. It is so strange that we have the Tribunal gods among us. It must have led to some pride for the Dunmer over the centuries to know that they are protected by them. But now, I get to meet Vivec himself. I don't know what to do or say, but I suppose I better be polite and listen to him, since he asked me to come see him. It's Vivec, and he's just floating there. Julan? Go. You alright, Shani? You asked to speak with me.
I expected you. We have business, you and I.
I'm listening.
When I was young like you, I was very impatient, so I will keep our business short. Then, later, there may be time for other things. First, I propose to remove my curse upon the Nerevarine, end the persecution of the dissident priests, and proclaim to all Morrowind that you are the incarnate and Nerevarine, the prophesied savior of Morrowind, and the last hope to withstand the menace of Dagother and the Sixth House. These things I will do, whether you wish or not.
Go on.
Next, I propose to surrender to you the power and responsibility of defeating Dagother. You may choose to refuse. I will not compel you. You will receive the power as a gift, in the form of an artifact called Wraithguard. You may accept the gift, then do with it as you will. You will receive the responsibility as an oath. You may give your oath, then keep it or break it as you like. First, will you accept Wraithguard as a gift?
Yes, I accept Wraithguard.
Good. Sensible of you. And now will you give your oath before all gods and men, before all spirits visible and invisible, before my honor and your honor, to dedicate yourself and Wraithguard to the defeat and destruction of Dagother, and the preservation of Morrowind and its people?
Yes, I so swear.
Not very sensible, but very good. I was hoping for someone who would have no hesitations about making such an oath. You will now have a brief momentary sensation of time passing. Don't be alarmed. You are being taken out of time in order to avoid the unpleasant experience of learning how to use Wraithguard. It will be over before...
There is a brief sensation of motion in total darkness, floating but without a sense of weight or direction.
You know it now. I will notify the temple that you are our champion. There shall be no more persecution of the dissident priests, and I hope both sides shall swiftly be reconciled. We have time for questions if you like, or you may leave as you wish. But I think there are at least two things you ought to know before you leave. How to use Wraithguard, and how to defeat Dagother.
This is amazing. You've dealt with much of the problems outside Dagother. We could be unified against them. How do I defeat Dagother?
To defeat Dagother, go to Red Mountain to recover the artifact Hammer Sunder from Gate Citadel Veminal. Then, recover the artifact Blade Keening from Gate Citadel Drossel. Then, proceed with Wraithguard, Sunder, and Keening to the Citadel of Dagother. Within the Citadel, find the Heart of Lorkhan. Use the 3 artifacts to sever Dagother's connection to the Heart, and he will be destroyed, and the Blight ended on Morrowind.
Recover the artifact Blade Keening from Gate Citadel of Drossel. I take it that's at Red Mountain as well.
To destroy Dagother, you must sever his connection with the Heart of Lorkhan. To do this, strike the Heart with the artifact Hammer Sunder once. Then, strike the Heart more than once with the artifact Blade Keening. You must wear Wraithguard, because you cannot handle either Sunder or Keening unless you are wearing Wraithguard. That is the short, simple explanation. Here is the long, detailed explanation, written down for your convenience. Read it, study it, commit it to memory.
What could you tell me about Red Mountain?
In my library, I have made available 2 conflicting accounts of the events of Red Mountain. My own true account, and another false account common among the Ashlanders and preserved in the Apocrypha. I don't care whether you believe my account or not. I leave it up to you to judge which is true.
Thank you. You've been of most help, Vivec. Plan to defeat Dagother. Battle Red Mountain. Dagother's plans. Nerevar at Red Mountain. I think I'll have to read these. Alright, plan to defeat Dagother. The plan to defeat Dagother. For the past 20 years, the Tribunal have tried unsuccessfully to execute this plan. However, we failed because we were required to stage an assault and simultaneously maintain the Ghost Fence to prevent the threatened large-scale breakout of Dagother's blighted hosts. With the Nerevarine leading the assault, and the Tribunal free to devote their full energies to maintaining the Ghost Fence, this plan has a greater chance of success. Unfortunately, however, the loss of the artifacts Sunder and Keening and the recent increase in Dagother's strength poses new problems for the execution of the plan. Therefore, our proposed plan has the following 5 phases. 1. A series of aggressive raids to scout inside the Ghost Fence. 2. A series of aggressive raids to neutralize Dagother's Ash Vampire kin and recover artifacts from the bodies of his kin. 3. An assault of Gate Citadel Veminal to neutralize Dagoth Vemin and recover the artifact Hammer Sunder. 4. An assault of Gate Citadel Odroso to neutralize Dagoth Odros and recover the artifact Blade Keening. 5. An assault of Citadel Dagoth with the artifacts Wraithguard Sunder and Keening to sever Dagother's connection to the Heart of Lorkhan and thus to destroy Dagother. Well, this is quite lengthy. Phase 1. Raids inside the Ghost Fence. The Tribunal, Ordinators, and Boyne Armigers are familiar with the terrain and will provide maps and current intelligence reports. The region inside the Ghost Fence is dangerous, and the Nerevarine will need to be familiar with its particular challenges. After measuring skills and resources against Dagother's defenses, the Nerevarine will know better how to pace a campaign, alternating raids with improving skills, getting better equipment, and stockpiling resources. Phase 2 raids upon Ash Vampire Citadels. Dagother's kin have become markedly more powerful in recent decades after remaining stable for thousands of years. If they can be individually isolated and destroyed, they will not be able to support Dagother in later stages of the war. It may also be that the dramatic increase in their power comes from items enchanted by Dagother. Salvage of such items might contribute to our resources. Phase 3 Assault on Gate Citadel Vivec. Essential to recover the artifact Hammer Sunder for Phase 5, the Ash Vampire Dagoth Vivec has possession of Sunder and probably seeks to discover the secrets of its enchantments. He may also have access to notebooks and journals of Kagrenak that have survived in the Dwemer workshops of Vivec. Phase 4 Assault on the Gate Citadel of Drossel. Essential to recover the artifact blade Keening for Phase 5, the Ash Vampire Dagoth Odros has possession of Keening and probably seeks to discover the secrets of its enchantments. He may also have access to notebooks and journals of Kagrenak that have survived in the Dwemer workshops of Drossel. Phase 5 Assault on Citadel Dagoth. I suppose that's the end, isn't it? All the previous stages are preparations for this stage. Recent expeditions show that Citadel Dagoth has undergone extensive expansion. The location will be needed to be explored carefully. The known route to the Heart Chamber will be well defended. Alternative routes may exist. Dagother will have anticipated our plan to destroy him by attacking the Heart, and he will almost certainly personally oppose approach to the Heart Chamber. Together, the Tribunal could not defeat him, and he has grown stronger since then. Admittedly, the Tribunal had the distraction of maintaining the Ghost Fence simultaneously with fighting Dagother, but even so, the challenge seems daunting. The adoption of this phased campaign seems to offer the best chances for success. In retrospect, the Tribunal's decision to directly assault Citadel Dagoth rather than proceed step by step through lesser objectives must be seen to have been a serious error. The Tribunal did not feel it had the option of a slow-paced and deliberate campaign, given that they had many other competing priorities, not the least of which was the maintenance of the Ghost Fence and outer defenses surrounding Red Mountain. The Nerevarine, on the other hand, should be best served by a careful step-by-step advance, with the additional advantage of building confidence along the way, while successes would undermine Dagother's own assurance in his defenses. Employing Kagrenak's tools against Dagother. The source of Dagother's supernatural power is the Heart of Lorkhan. The Heart is also the source of the Tribunal's divine powers. I'm not sure how that would work. If the Heart is... I'm not sure. Do we destroy it? Is that the point of it? Or is it like undoing what it's created since Kagrenak used the tools? I'm not sure what it would do. But either way, it seems to me that the Tribunal, Vivec, Amalexia, and Sathosil themselves might die from this. Or just suddenly lose their powers and become mortal again. During mythic times, the gods took and hid Lorkhan's heart beneath Red Mountain as a punishment for creating the mortal plane. The Dwemer discovered the heart while building underground colonies. High Craft Lord Kagrenak created enchanted tools intended to tap the power of the heart. The War of the First Council was fought to prevent this sacrilege. Kagrenak's use of these tools and the disappearance of the Dwemer race marked the end of the war. Kagrenak's tools were recovered by Lord Nerevar and Dagother. Dagother was left to guard the tools while Nerevar came to consult with us, his advisors. In Nerevar's absence, Dagother experimented with the tools upon the heart and was corrupted. We returned to discover a deranged Dagother who refused to turn over the tools. When he attacked us, we drove him away. So this must be from Vivec's own recollection, I guess. We left Red Mountain with the tools and subsequently sought the Sill to discover their secrets. Collectively, we used the tools to establish a connection with the heart, enabling ourselves to transform our immortal natures. Thus we became the Tribunal. So this is confirmed. I mean, Vivec just said it himself, that they did do this. This is the last thing. Coming from the mouth of the person that actually did it. So we would sever the connection to Dagother and, I assume, the Tribunal all at once. I don't think we'll be able to pick and choose here, and honestly, I would want to sever it all. If they had spoken the truth about how they gained these powers, maybe I'd feel different about them. But as it is, they lied for Well, at least 3.5 millennia. Dagother had survived our attacks, and without the tools in a manner not well understood, Dagother also managed to establish a connection with the heart, and to transform himself into an immortal being. Our plan to destroy Dagother also runs the risk of destroying the Tribunal. The plan is to permanently disrupt Kagranok's enchantments upon the heart, severing connections with Dagother and ourselves, and rendering us all once again mortal. A mortal Dagother may then be destroyed by mundane means. The loss of godhood and the possible death of the Tribunal are just a necessary risk and sacrifice. Now that's a more noble sentiment coming from the Tribunal. Maybe they're not so bad after all. But still, if they had been honest and didn't wage this war against so-called heresy for such a long time, and all the people that have suffered just from that, if they had been honest about themselves, they still could have been the protectors of Morrowind. I don't think that the Dunmer people would have looked upon them as any different, but who knows? Something could have changed. Maybe there would have been calls for them, for more people to use the tools in the heart, to gain more gods protecting Morrowind. I don't know. Or maybe they would have considered a heresy and demanded that they break the link, so to speak. Severing connection, I guess, as Vivec says himself. The normal procedure for establishing connection with the heart is a 3-step process. The wearer of Wraithguard strikes the heart with the hammer asunder, causing the heart to produce a pure tone, and then the wearer of the Wraithguard strikes the heart with the blade keening, shattering the pure tone into a prism of tone shades. These tone shades are then imprinted upon the substance of the wearer of Wraithguard, giving him an immortal and divine nature. I'm already immortal. Well, doesn't that also mean you can't be harmed? I'll live forever, and I will never catch disease. Close enough. The Nerevarine will not be taught the secret rituals required to perform the 3rd step. Instead, the Nerevarine will strike the heart with keening for a 2nd time, causing its tones to diverge into unstable patterns of interference. Further repeated strikes with keening will further disrupt the tones, with the ultimate result of shattering and dispelling Kagranok's original enchantments, binding the heart, thereby severing the heart's links with Dagother, and with any surviving Hearthwights, and with the Tribunal. Hearthwights. Does that mean the creations of Dagother, his minions? Destroying Kagranok's enchantments on the heart will also stop the corrupt effusion of the heart's divine power and end the blight on Morrowind. Well, that is a worthy thing to do. The Nerevarine may be tempted to steal the power of the heart. No, I'm not. I have no desire to become one of you. Dagother and Sothasil alone know the secret. Dagother may, in extremity, propose to... Extremity? As an extreme, desperate attempt? Extremity. I thought an extremity would be, I don't know, like your arm or leg. Propose to teach the Nerevarine to use Kagranok's tools to become a god. We doubt that the Nerevarine is too fool enough to trust Dagother and are content to take this risk. You know, I would never trust him. Be warned, the Nerevarine cannot safely equip either Keening or Sunder unless wearing Wraithguard. The Nerevarine will be injured every moment while holding either of these artifacts unless protected by Wraithguard. Persistence will be rewarded with death. If Nerevarine can equip an item while not wearing Wraithguard and receive no injury, the item is a counterfeit. Interesting. One last note, Dagother must not get hold of Wraithguard. The Nerevarine must prepare and use a recall or Almsivi intervention if there is any risk of death or capture. The element of surprise. Dagother will not expect you to destroy Kagranok's enchantments on the heart. He does not know it is possible. He would not do it himself, and he knows we have never tried it. He will not believe anyone would want to sacrifice the promise of such power. Further advancement in House Dagoth, as in all great houses, is by challenge and confrontation within the hierarchy. The Nerevarines' challenges and defeats of the Ash Vampires and battles with the Sixth House will be viewed in that light. Dagother and his kin may assume the Nerevarines' ambition is to control the heart. Given that assumption, it is only reasonable that the Nerevarine would try to defeat each of Dagother's subordinates in turn, working up to Dagother. If the Nerevarine can defeat Dagother and control the heart, so much the better. But logically, the Nerevarine would wish to rise as high in the hierarchy as possible before cutting a deal with the head of the house. Dagother should try to recruit the Nerevarine into House Dagoth. He already has tried. It may be possible to pretend to join him, then betray him. However, any attempt to deceive him will be very risky. House Dagoth has a tradition of subterfuge and treachery, and because he is a deceiver, he will expect deception. Closing remarks. We place no compulsion upon the Nerevarine to adhere to the plans described here. We believe that they offer the best chance of destroying Dagother, but we have also chosen to place our trust in the Nerevarines' judgment and skill. Frankly, we see no alternative. If there are doubts or questions, speak with Vivec. He has agreed to serve as the Nerevarines' guide and counselor for this campaign. It may be that if the Nerevarine succeeds, the Tribunal will not survive. Such sentiments as might have been expressed to the Tribunal should, in that case, be addressed to the land and people of Morrowind. May the happy convergence of fortune and prayer meet in our destiny. On behalf of Lady Almalexia and Lord Sathasil, Vivec. Okay, so there could be counterfeits, but do I want to try it? Would I want to try to attempt to hold? I'm not wearing my proper ring, nor this one. Yeah, I don't know if I would want to try that, but I will need to know if I'm holding the correct one. So this is a gauntlet. I can't tell what type of armor. Oh, it's heavy armor. Yes. Heavy armor. Legendary gauntlet crafted by the tonal architect Lord Kagernak of the Dwemer to manipulate the heart of Lorcan. Wraithguard is the only means by which to avoid the fatal effects of wielding the dagger keening or the hammer sunder. Dagger, I thought it was a sword. Dagger keening or the hammer sunder. Okay. Well, I will use it when it comes down to it. The Battle of Red Mountain, Dagother's plans. Oh, this is going to take me a while. The Battle of Red Mountain and the rise and fall of the Tribunal. He said I could take these, right? Dagother's plans. It's a little bit shorter. Nerevar at Red Mountain. Again, a bit shorter. I will not join House Dagoth. I feel myself to be a highly competent warrior. I do believe I could defeat him, but he would just come back if he's not, the connection with the heart of Lorcan is not severed.
Was there something else?
I don't know. Is there any other business to speak of?
Actually, I believe we finished our business. I will notify the temple that you are our champion. There shall be no more persecution of the dissident priests, and I hope both sides shall swiftly be reconciled. Now you are my guest. I am your host, and we have time for explanations, or counsel, or questions, or bitter recriminations, if you like. Or you may leave if you wish, as you wish. But I think before you leave, you should hear how to defeat Dagother, and how you must use the artifact Wraithguard.
I am quite familiar with how to do it now. One hit with the hammer, and at least two with the dagger. I'll hit it many times, severing it completely, the connections. So, times for explanations, you say?
You want to know, why did I wage war on the Nerevarine?
It'd be nice to know.
Why did I try to suppress the Apocrypha? Why did I persecute the dissident priests? Why is Dagother winning the war? How does the Tribunal fight Dagother? What are Wraithguard's powers?
Why did you wage war on the Nerevarine?
Why did I try to kill you? Because you threatened the faith of my followers, and I needed their faith to hold back the darkness. And I thought you were my enemy, a pawn of the subtle Daedra Lord Azura, or a pawn of Emperor Uriel Septim, or a simple fraud, perhaps a hero, but not much of one if my faithful could destroy you. Now circumstances are altered. I need you, and you need me.
So it would seem. Why did you try to suppress the Apocrypha?
Why did I suppress the Apocrypha? Because it was such an unfortunate mixture of truth, falsehood, and speculation that I couldn't afford to manage the confused reaction of our faithful. Any doubt whatsoever weakened their faith, and we needed their faith to give us the power to maintain the ghost fence. In retrospect, perhaps we lost the faith of those we most needed while preserving the faith of the meek and indifferent. Perhaps a mistake was made. Who can say?
I come from a shady background, well, in Imperial City, and I am not a leader of a religion like the Tribunal, but I do believe that you should have been honest from the beginning. Okay, so why did you persecute the dissident priests? Because you were afraid it would make you weaker?
Suppression and persecution of dissent is just one of the standard tools of statecraft. I believe we erred in trusting the judgment of Drossel. He and his ordinators served valiantly in the war against Dagother. We mistook his misplaced zeal for energy and dedication. Mistakes were made, but no more. There shall be no more persecution of the dissident priests, and I hope both sides shall swiftly be reconciled.
You believe Dagother is winning the war?
Dagother is winning because he is close to the source of power, Lorcan's heart.
Makes sense.
And because he retains the passion of madness, while we have settled into the lonely and unrewarding posture of dogged dutifulness and perseverance. And finally, perhaps because he is stronger and smarter than we are, and his followers are more fervent and fanatical, I believe we were careless and complacent, and outwitted. And in the matter of denying the Nerevarine, we were foolish.
I would tend to agree. How does the Tribunal fight Dagother?
In the past, the Tribunal made seasonal campaigns to Red Mountain. We slew Dagother and his kin, though the heart always revived them in time. Later, when we realized we couldn't destroy them, we created the Ghost Fence to contain the threat. These solutions were effective until Dagother ambushed us and captured Sunder and Keening. Since that time, our fortunes have waned as his increased.
What were you talking about, bitter recriminations?
You want to chide me. Why did I murder Nerevar? Why did I break my oath to Azura not to use Kagranak's tools? Why did I cause others to suffer?
Now we get to the heart of it all. So you did murder Lord Nerevar.
We did not murder Nerevar. The legend that we murdered Nerevar comes from a story told by a shield companion to Nerevar, Drossel, who lived among the Ashlanders. The Ashlanders have retained Drossel's account as part of their oral histories. The account is persuasive in some details, implausible in others, and is in any case false. I have 2 accounts of Nerevar's death here in my library. Read them, and judge for yourself.
I most certainly will. So you did break your oath to Azura, and this is why we became the Dunmer, the ashen-skinned, red-eyed people, elves of Morrowind.
Along with Lord Nerevar, and at his insistence, Almalexia, Sophasil, and I swore before our god of oaths at the time, the Daedra Lord Azura, never to employ the tools of Kagranak for any purpose. We broke our oaths. We turned our backs on the old gods. I still see no compelling reason to worship any of the Aedra or Daedra. But for the respect I held for Nerevar and the respect I held for myself. I should never have betrayed my oath. Of all my life's actions, I most regret that failure.
I don't know if it was a good or bad thing. But why did you cause others to suffer?
Why did I cause others to suffer? I respect that question, and you for it. The most I can say is, I did the best I could, as I saw things. Can you, mortal, presume to judge the actions and motives of a god?
You weren't a god then.
But because I need you, and you need me, I will make an accounting for my sins to you. But not now. Destroy Dagother, and then we will discuss my sins. Then, perhaps, you will have earned the right to judge me.
I think that's enough. Thank you for doing what you've done, Vivec. And I meant I don't know if it's a good or bad thing for the people of Morrowind, the Dunmer people, what he did, breaking his oath. I don't agree with him being... with the lying the Tribunal has done. So he said he's not responsible for killing Lord Nerevar. I don't know. I'll have to read those accounts.